Hello there, my name's Pat. I just finished my first year RAing at Pitt and I got rehired for a second year. I wanted to make this video because when I was thinking about becoming an RA, I didn't really have a resource that laid it out. So I thought I'd make this for anybody considering the possibility of being a resident assistant. The first thing that I want to say is that you don't have to be an incredibly social person. You can still become a good RA. Knowing me, I was not the most social person in high school. Hey Angela, was I sort of a less social person in high school?
Yes.
That wasn't a leading question. It's supposed to be like nonchalant.
Yeah.
Just a little caveat. Just a little caveat. If you do want to get into any sort of management or leadership role in business, being an RA is actually a great experience for that because it's very similar in a lot of respects. As a quick appeal to credibility, I did win RA of the month for the Northeast region. That was more so because one of my staff members was a good writer, but I did get rehired, so I must have done something right. I want to touch on probably the elephant in the room with deciding to become an RA, and that is the financial benefits. A lot of people don't like to talk about this because becoming a resident assistant is supposed to be predominantly about caring about other people. I do think it's a little disingenuous to leave the financial part of it out because when anybody makes a decision on how to spend your time, your priorities, and sort of what you get in return for the things that you do, everyone's going to consider that. A lot of universities will provide housing as well as your meal plan for free, sort of the easiest way to provide compensation. Some universities I know do a cash reward, so that's a little different. The amount can be pretty decent because housing and meal plan can account for like $10,000 to $12,000. Sometimes a little more in some cases, but this is a large sum for a university student. Now I wanted to emphasize that the most important thing is caring about other people and sort of being a support structure for your residents. Because if you're just doing it for the money, you're probably not going to enjoy yourself and you're probably going to regret that you became an RA. Being an RA, you're going to have to talk to all your residents, you're going to have to care for them, support them, give them advice, sort of be a mentor throughout the whole experience, especially if it's first year students. When I was thinking about becoming an RA, I think the main characterization of being a resident assistant is you're going to be making bulletin boards, door decks, thinking of creative ideas, more so than like being a friend and caring about other people and giving advice. And I think that's where like the job sort of matters more so. That sort of makes the rest of it worth it. Because you're going to have to be doing all these things in order to show that you care and in order to sort of create that environment that lends itself toward a good group environment for your floor. All these things can be fun. Like I did one program that was a rap video with my students, and then I can show you a quick example of how to make a board. It's not that difficult. So here you go. And in showing all this, I just wanted to sort of convey that there is a time commitment involved with this, as seen by the compensation. You're going to have to decide what your priorities are and where you want to spend your time. Certain weekends you're not going to be able to do things that you want to do because you're going to have to be doing certain things like going on tour and enforcing conduct. All of these are just sort of sacrifices that you have to make in order to sort of fill this role. It's sort of an unorthodox position because you sort of work more so on weekends than during the week. So it's not just like a part-time job, it's more of you have to really care about doing this in order to do a good job and in order to enjoy yourself. I think that's one of the biggest things is enjoying yourself as well. I think it boils down to how you want to spend your time and if you think it's worth spending your time doing this. Time was the biggest thing that I was worried about because I'm an engineering student and I'm involved in clubs, trying to do intramural sports, etc., etc. So I wasn't really sure if I had the time to do a good job. But I think that you can make time for anything if you set your priorities correctly. Maybe you're not a people person, but you want to get better at it and you really care about others. Then I think an RA position would be great in order to sort of maximize your skills as well as, help students that are coming into university find their path as well. And then the biggest thing is making the decision to become an RA, sort of commit to it. And this was something that was brought to me from one of my mentors. So I'll sort of play a reenactment of what that conversation looked like that helped me make my decision. Hey Professor, I wanted to talk to you after class about potentially being an RA. I'm just not sure if I have enough time, so I was curious what the engineering curriculum was like. Just figure out if you thought I had time to be a good student as well as be a good RA. Hey Pat, thanks for coming by. I was actually an RA as well as an engineering student at a smaller college around here, so I've been in your shoes before. You keep mentioning time, but when you're thinking about decisions like these where you come to a fork in the road and you go one way or the other, the two biggest things that I would look at are how it affects you as a person, your qualities, and sort of what you want that ideal to look like, as well as how you can help people along the way, because you always find time for things that matter to you. It's really about those two biggest things for me when I come to these decisions in my life. And then once you look at all the information available to you and you decide which way you want to go, I would say fully commit to the decision and never look back, because you can't live with regret, and you always find a way to make it work in the end. We can keep talking more about my experiences as an RA, but I would say just consider everything, and then once you make that decision, go through with it. So there you have it. That's my 2 cents on why I decided to become an RA and why you might too. Just some things to consider along the way. So hopefully this was helpful as well as enjoyable, but that's about all I have. Thanks for watching.